Good morning. We're here today to bid a sad but fond farewell to Christine Martha Simard, known to many of us as Christy. Most important of all, we are here to begin the transition from a relationship of presence to a relationship of memory. My name is Karis Berkowski, and I'm a humanist officiant. It is an honor and a privilege to be with you today to perform this last task for Christy and her friends and family. We have all been deeply affected by Christy's death. Although she left us far too early, we will try today to make this an occasion of celebration of her life and to express our thanks for having known her. There is one thing we all have in common. At one point or another, and to some degree or another, our lives touched Christy's. In one way or another, Christy's death affects us all. And so today, we have put aside our usual daily activities and gathered here to express the thoughts and feelings that well up in us at this time of loss. This farewell ceremony allows us to do some of our grieving in the presence of others who have known and loved her. The uniqueness of each human life is the basis of our grief in bereavement. Look through the whole world, and there is no one just like the one we have lost. But she lives on in our memories, and she lives on in our memories, and though no longer a visible part of our lives, she still will remain a member of our family or of our circle through the influence that she's had on us and the special part that she has played in our lives. Henry Scott Holland expressed that thought well with these words: "Whatever we were to each other, we still are. Please call me by my old name. Speak to me. Speak of me in the same easy way you always did. Laugh as we always laughed at the little jokes we shared together. Think of me and smile. Let my name be the household name it always was. Life means all it ever meant. It is the same as it ever was. Death is inevitable, so why should I be out of mind because I am out of sight? Life exists in the time span between birth and death, and life's significance lies in the experiences and satisfactions we achieve in that lifespan. What matters most is not that someone has died, but that they have lived. Christy was born on October 21st, 1971, and so began the life of the woman that the people gathered here today were proud and privileged to call their mother, their daughter, their wife, their aunt, their coworker, their gaming companion, their friend. She grew up in Cambridge with her parents, Michelle and Elizabeth Simard, and her brother Jeff. She finished high school at St. John's, Kilmarnock, and went on to the University of Waterloo. Christy enjoyed a stimulating career in technical writing across multiple platforms with a variety of Waterloo-based companies. In July of 2001, she married Rob Good, and they had two beautiful daughters, Camille and Bethanie, who were the center and focus of her life. She enjoyed a special bond with their nanny, Julie Lomond, and with her nieces, Chanel and Nicole. When not working, Christy enjoyed hobbies that ranged from heavy metal music to the natural solitude and connection of camping. Even as a youngster, she loved the outdoors and had fond memories of her times at Camp Tanamacoon. I got to know Christy a few years ago, mostly through gaming. Several women friends would meet weekly to play board games. Sometimes Jax, Adrienne, and Christy would come in from the back door, spouting plans to start a podcast. They would call it Three Girls in a Garage, and they would discuss deep philosophical topics, and then they would burst out into giggles. The evenings were filled with fun and laughter. Christy was an excellent baker, and we loved it when she would bring tarts, homemade tarts, to the games night. She also organized a cookie exchange, where everyone would share their favorite cookies. An effective communicator, she valued freedom of expression and was never shy about expressing her views. She enjoyed the writings of Khalil Gibran and Rumi, whose works are lush with the language of love and relationships. Christy lived and loved large and fought hard. She was fearless in the pursuit of her truth and passionate in her beliefs. She cared deeply about human rights and was vocal in her feminist activism. She was recently planning several projects that reflected some of those beliefs. Some we were planning together. And we grieve the many seeds that she will not sow. The facts of Christy's life provide an outline, but a clearer picture is provided by the relationships in her life. I will now call on those who were close to Christy to share some personal stories. First, we will hear from her mother, Betty, whose words will be read for us by Susan Morrison, her sister. Susan? I suppose you need to come here so they can hear you.
Our wish for our daughter. We have a wish for our daughter. Our hope is that Kirsty's spirit climbs high and freely into the sky, that she hears her music and dances on clouds with those she loves. Then follows a sun ray down for a swim in those clear Tanamacoon waters, so soft from rain and snow. Then again, her spirit soars with the eagles and laughs with the blue jays, then slides down a rainbow to bury her face in the scents of dampened wildflowers. Then up with the breeze in her hair, she rides 1,000 winds in all directions to places she has never been before, finding both wonder and joy. And as she tires, she pillows her head on a cloud close to the soft
light of star.
It finds her peace. Our wish is that each one of us will sense Christy's spirit in the hush of dawn or the softness of night, and that her strong mother spirit will always surround Camille and Bethanie with love and inspiration. This is our wish.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Now I'm going to read a letter that was written by Carissa, Christy's friend from Camp Tanamacoon, as a child and other camping experiences. She's in England now, but I wanted to share her words because they so nicely express how many of Christy's friends interacted and grew with her through the years. I know I related to these words. As a historian, I write about lives. I gather various threads of a person's existence, some colorful, some dull, some knobbly and thick, some thin and fragile, and weave a narrative that I hope captures some picture of who they are in a moment or some significant aspect of their life. Now I sit writing about a dear childhood friend, and I find it difficult in about 1,000,000 ways, not the least of which is because it is hard not to selfishly weave my heartstrings into her story. I've sat wondering what Christy would want as her story. Really, I should have a decent sense of this, since over the years we've logged hours and hours and hours of conversation. Anyone who knows us knows we could talk for days, and we did. As cabinet counselors at summer camp, it is a wonder we got any sleep, as we would lie in bed talking until dawn. At her cottage, we spent sunny hours sitting like lumps in tracksuits and wool socks, talking about art, nature, and people. Sometimes we would make plans to visit each other and see exciting things, but we would end up sitting in her car with coffees for hours, just chatting about technical writing, politics, feminism, bioethics, and education. Our pandemic chats were epic. With me, Christy always brought her insatiable desire to learn, and together we would discuss a wide range of challenging topics with an open mind and heart. Christy was one of my biggest cheerleaders and could be counted on to celebrate triumph with pride, enthusiasm, and usually a guinea pig or two. She also knew when to lighten a mood or reach out with a kindness. Christy would regularly send me hilarious memes she made, take photos of cows or flowers she knew that I would like, or just reach out with a gentle word if I had been too quiet. In my darkest and most frightened times, Christy put aside everything and was present and supportive. Her endless compassion, strength, and generosity is something I will take with me as I move forward. What I have come to realize in the past few days is that Christy wouldn't want me to write her story. Christy was very much her own person who forged her own relationships and appreciated the differences and diversity in her social network. She was different things to different people, and she was proud of all her relationships. She loved fiercely and loyally. She knew relationships were work and always evolving, which is why she made space for growth, emotion, mistakes, and forgiveness. She had so much patience and love to give. You value what you work for, and Christy knew this and lived to this. I don't think Christy would have wanted to be bounded by my narrative or any single narrative. My feeling is Christy believed everyone has their own story, and their own story about her, to develop, share, and treasure. I believe she has left each of us with enough threads to weave our own story, a story to give us some comfort in the challenging days ahead, and a story each of us can hold tight in our hearts, so a part of her will always be close. We're grateful to Carissa for sending that. Beautiful words. All of the music that we've been listening to today has come from Christy's playlists. She loved music, and she would happily create playlists for us and hand them out to us. We are now going to take a few moments to each remember Christy in our own way, to think about our own personal memories of the times we spent with her. Feel free to close your eyes and be with your own thoughts, or to look at the pictures as we listen to more of her music. The beautiful and evocative pictures in the slideshow that we will watch speak volumes. After this reflective interlude, we will continue.
were alive with wildflowers, and I was as wild, even wilder than they. Or at least I could run. They just died in the sun, and I refused to just wither in place. Just a wild mountain rose needing freedoms to grow, so I ran, fearing not where I go. When a flower grows wild, it can always survive. Wildflowers don't care where they grow. And the flowers I knew in the fields where I grew were content to be lost in the crowd. They were common and close. I had no room to grow, and I wanted so much to branch out. So I uprooted myself from my home ground and left, took my dreams and I took to the road. When a flower grows wild, it can always survive. Wildflowers don't care where they grow. I grew up fast and wild, and I never felt right in a garden so different from me. I just never belonged. I just longed to be gone. So the garden one day set me free. I hitched a ride with the wind, and since he was my friend, I just let him decide where we go. When a flower grows wild, it can always survive. Wildflowers don't care where they grow. Just a wild rambling road, seeking mysteries untold. No regret for the path that I chose. When a flower grows wild, it can always survive. Wildflowers don't care where they grow.
Christy died suddenly and unexpectedly in a motor vehicle accident on the morning of August the 7th, 2021. In keeping with her wishes, her ashes will be scattered at a special place up north in a private ceremony. She will be remembered, among other things, for her honesty, her integrity, and her compassion. She was an inspiration to many. She loved nature and the great outdoors. She taught us to be involved in the quest for equality for women, to write our truth and become better creative writers, and to appreciate music. She demonstrated the art of kindness and generosity. Christy understood that we each make our choices, gather the things we love, and build them into our lives to create a life that is our own unique work of art. Poet Susie Kassem expresses this concept in her poem, Heartwork. Each day is born with a sunrise and ends in a sunset, the same way we open our eyes to see the light and close them to hear the dark. You have no control over how your story begins or ends. But by now you should know that all things have an ending. Every spark returns to darkness, every sound returns to silence, and every flower returns to sleep with the earth. The journey of the sun and moon is predictable, but yours, your journey, is your ultimate art. Thank you for being here today to remember Christy and her journey. While there will not be a reception here today, many of you will gather to share your thoughts and remembrances of Christy. You will grieve together, but she would want you to also laugh together, to remember the good times. As you go, perhaps you can imagine her saying these words: I give you this one thought to keep. I am with you still. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on the snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds that circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not think of me as gone. I am with you still in each new dawn. Thank you.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows? Only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart chose? Only time. Who can say why your heart sighs as your love flies? Only time. And who can say why your heart cries when your love lies? Only Who can say when the roads meet that love might be in your heart? And who can say when the day sleeps if the night keeps all your night keeps all Who can say if your love grows as your